can ask ChatGPT to make me a budget meal plan, but honestly, I don't need a plan that works in theory. I need one that survives busy mornings, hungry teenagers, low energy nights, and constant snack requests. I need one that works in practice, in real life, not just on paper. I actually think most grocery budgets don't fall apart with the dinner plan. They fall apart with the random snacks, the convenience foods, the last minute lunches, the we have nothing to eat moments throughout the week. So after planning 5 dinners, I need to figure out how to make the rest of the week work. So here's how I'm thinking when I'm trying to be intentional about finishing out a meal plan on a budget. I'm gonna head over to the produce first because typically I find I'm spending anywhere from 20 to 30% of my grocery budget money on produce, fruits and vegetables, fresh, frozen, and canned. Right now though, since we're coming into summer and a lot of stuff is readily available and it is a good price because it's in season, I'm probably gonna lean a little bit more on the fresh produce, although I am gonna pick up some frozen fruit for smoothies. I think I'm gonna get peaches and mangoes because not only are those really good in smoothies, they're also really good on their own. It's like a popsicle, but with the fiber of fresh fruit, and it's really refreshing in the warmer months. Okay, they were out of frozen peaches today, so I got mango chunks and strawberries, but try the frozen peaches. I'm also usually gonna drop about 5 to 10% on restocking some staples, which for me this time was Parmesan cheese, bread flour, and I couldn't afford my really expensive flour on the budget that I'm trying to get today, my King Arthur flour, so I'm just gonna try the store brand. And salt, of all things. Like, I ran out of just regular table salt. Who runs out of salt? This lady. Now I'm just picking up a few items to fill in breakfasts and lunches, so let's get these groceries home and I'll tell you what the plan is. You can get these things at Walmart, but I ran into Sprouts because they were on sale. 2 pounds of pasta, and this is a specific kind that I like, it's bronze cut. And then this is 1.5 pounds of raw shrimp. It was on a manager special, so I got a fantastic deal on this. If you guys could have seen what I went through to get this watermelon out of the watermelon bin, you would have laughed. I was picking up watermelons and moving them to the neighboring bin. I think at one point I was like literally hanging over the edge of the big watermelon bin, trying to get to this one, which was on the very bottom. Big yellow spot, lots of brown veiny things. This is gonna be a good one. Breakfast is where I refuse to complicate things. I mean, we're not big breakfast eaters anyway. So I picked up those 2 bags of frozen fruit. We can make smoothies. I also got 2 boxes of cereal, one that is like a little higher in sugar and one that is very low in sugar. And this is a little trick of mine. I've shared this numerous times where I just mix the 2 together. I've done this with Cheerios, like regular Cheerios and Honey Nut Cheerios. The Chex cereal, you know, they have the flavor Chex and then the plain Chex. Today I'm doing some crunchy Raisin Bran with just the regular brand flakes. There you go, big old box of cereal. I normally buy organic milk because we don't always use it very quickly, and organic milk is ultra pasteurized, so it has a longer best by date. But since I knew that we were gonna be eating cereal and smoothies this week and the kids are home for the summer, I figured we can go through a gallon of milk pretty easily, so I just got the conventional milk this week and saved myself a few dollars. I have been making our sandwich bread more from scratch. I've actually shared a video about that with you guys, so I'll definitely make up a loaf of sandwich bread this week that we can have for toast, peanut butter sandwiches. But I also thought that I would make some 2 ingredient bagels. I haven't done this in a while. I kind of forgot about them. And my kids really like bagels for breakfast or for snacks. These are really easy and fairly inexpensive to make. I actually think they taste better than the store-bought bagels. I feel like 2 ingredient bagels are kind of like a guess and check type situation. I usually start with 2 to 3 yogurt to self-rising flour. So 2 cups of yogurt to 3 cups of self-rising flour. And then I just add more yogurt or more flour as the dough is mixing to make it be, you know, the consistency that I want it to be. I used to do this by hand, and I decided just to let the mixer do the work today, the kneading hook. And once it starts to pull away from the bowl, I know it's time to take it out, put it on a floured surface. I'm gonna let it rest for probably 5 to 10 minutes before I roll it out into the bagels and then brush them with a little bit of egg wash, so everything but the bagel seasoning, and bake them up in the oven. And also I can make them just the right size because I feel like the store brand bagels are really, really big. So one of them is too much, half is not enough. I can make the 2 ingredient bagels very easily and make them just the right size to have with the whipped cream cheese that I bought today. Lunches are more assemble. not necessarily cook. Most of the time we're eating lunch at different times or even in different places, so I really need to have options available for everybody to make a lunch when they're ready in the day. Since it's summer and the kids are home for lunch, it's actually a little bit easier because I don't have to think about options that travel. They're probably gonna be here to prep their lunch. I picked up 2 rotisserie chickens. I'm gonna remove all of the meat from the bones and put that into a container so people can use it to make quesadillas because I got tortillas and cheese. They can use it to make salads because I got lettuce greens. I also picked up a big case of ramen noodles because my kids really like those, and they can throw some like frozen veggies, peas and carrots, and also some of that chicken into a bowl of ramen noodles as well. Plus, we almost always have leftovers from dinner. Sometimes we have just 1 serving and sometimes we have multiple servings. So usually there is something in the refrigerator that we can reheat and eat. Let me talk about some things that I did not buy. We aren't always on a super tight grocery budget, but when we are, there are certain things that I'm probably not gonna pick up. Beverages, soda, tea, lemonade, protein shakes. For us, these are typically coming out of a different budget called entertainment, but even so, if I'm on a tight budget, these are one of the first things to go. Individual snacks. These little pre-packaged items are really nice to have for lunch packing or for sports, but they add up quickly. And on a tight budget week like this one, I'm probably keeping the snacks very minimal and very simple. I picked up a 2-pound bag of popcorn kernels and some seasoning, and we can pop a lot of popcorn on the stove or in the microwave. This 2-pound bag of popcorn kernels can pop over 120 cups of popcorn, and I paid less than $2.50 for it. Niche or specialty ingredients. I know it's nice to shake up the meal plan with something new from time to time, but this can bust my tight budget if it calls for seasonings or staples that I don't normally keep in stock. Plus, if I'm on a tight budget, I want to make sure that we are making good use of the food that I'm purchasing. We don't have any room for waste, so I'm probably gonna stick with the stuff that I know my family likes and will eat. Convenience items. When I am on a tight budget, I know that I'm going to need to trade some of my time to get back some of my money, which means that I am probably going to need to make a few things myself. For instance, the 2 ingredient bagels this week. Expensive name brands. You know that I love my King Arthur bread flour and my Kerrygold butter, but I knew that on this tighter budget this week that I was gonna need to cut a corner somewhere. It doesn't mean that I have to cut out all of the products and all of the name brands that I like. I just needed to kind of pick and choose where I was willing to make a swap so I could save a few dollars and stay under my budget. This video is not sponsored, but I wanted to thank you, the viewers. See, Mindy Mom is turning 8 years old this month, and I couldn't do this without you. Since I started 8 years ago, YouTube has seen a lot of changes, especially in the last few years with the addition of short form content and things like YouTube shopping and channel memberships. I have continued to pursue and take on sponsorships that I try to carefully vet and also consider the value and the relevance to my content, which allows me to earn an income from the videos that I'm making while keeping the videos themselves free for you to watch here on YouTube. But as the platform has changed, and I'll be honest, it's getting a little tricky for us long form creators out here. I just want to thank you for continuing to watch my videos and even going and tracking them down and continuing to look for my videos and check my page for new uploads when they aren't showing up in your home feed. My goal when I started this channel was to make helpful content that is kind, positive, and realistic. I plan to continue doing just that, so thank you so much for coming along with me. Now, I plan 5 nights of dinners for a week for my family typically, because one night we're gonna need to have kind of a clean out the fridge, eat up the leftovers, use the things that we have, fend for yourself. And then one night a week, we typically will get takeout or we'll be going out to a restaurant or to some kind of event somewhere. And typically this comes out of a different line item in our budget. It's called entertainment. But at times when money's been tight and we've had no money in that category, I'm probably gonna add just like $10 to my grocery haul so that I can pick up a frozen pizza and a bag salad, or maybe a few cans of soup or a box of mac and cheese for those low energy nights when I just need a break from cooking and we need something really easy. I've already shown you what's for dinner on this meal plan. It was the video that came out right before this one. I shared with you 5 meals on a budget. I showed you exactly what you needed for that meal plan, and it was actually part of this grocery haul. So once you're done with this video, if you didn't catch that one, I will leave it linked in the description box below so you can get some, step-by-step more information about how I made 5 nights of dinners with some of the groceries that I picked up today. Here here is everything that I purchased for this particular meal plan, which should feed us for a week, give or take, and the totals that I paid at the time I'm filming this video. This is just what works for us. You can use this as a jumping off point for your family or for your household and make adjustments as you see fit. And also, you know, we're making meals in a family kitchen. We're rarely starting from scratch. Sometimes there are some things that we already have on hand. Maybe there are some things that you already have readily available and you can sub some items into your shopping list that you would rather have. I hope this video was helpful or encouraging in some way. I will leave the dinners video that goes along with this grocery haul linked right here and also in the description box, or YouTube thinks you might want to watch this video next.